So hi guys, my name is Jero Steve Noel M. Pingoy and I'm from BSA Section 2H. And so for today's video, we're going to tackle the CMO 3-2022 because this is a super important policy from the Bureau of Customs that sets the rules of all customs bonded warehouses out there. We're going to make some key section easy to understand. So let's dive right in. So first, we have the Section 2 administrative provisions. So administrative provisions, this is like the foundation or the rule book for the entire CMO. So this section handles all the boring but necessary stuff. So it defines the key terms, clarifies who is covered by the rules, like what counts as a CBW operator, and like establishes the general policies for how the entire CMO should be implemented by the customs officials, like that. So and by the CBW operators, it's basically the introduction that sets the stage, that makes sure that everyone shows the basic language before we get into heavy stuff. So for me, the section 2, the administrative provisions, it is like the rules from the rule book of the entire CMO. Like, you need to follow the rules so that it can be good for our customs facilities or customs officials. Next, we're gonna discuss or explain. I'm gonna explain to you the specific documents and its purpose. So from section 10 to 12. So first, let's talk about the section 10, which is the lodgement, filing and processing of goods declaration for the transfer of goods to the CBW. So first, we have the noted WSAD or pre-WSAD, or the meaning is pre-warehousing single administrative documents. So it means that this is the main form you give to customs, and it is your official request that says we want to put these imported goods in our bonded warehouses. So please don't charge us yet or don't tax us yet. So this is the key to the warehouse, so you can put the goods imported. And then number 2. So number 2 is which is the bill of lading. So this is the official shipping ticket and proof of ownership. So this document proves that you have the right to claim the goods from the ship. And number 3, which is the invoice. So this is the official price tags. This is the official price tag, and customs uses this document to figure out the exact value of your goods. So it can define how much is your goods cost. So they can calculate the correct tax and duties later on. So number 4, which is the packing list. The packing list, this is the detailed checking list. So detailed checklist of everything inside the box. So it helps customs to quickly check if the shipment matches the invoice. So if the invoice like with bring some goods and listed like the let's put some like numbers, and then the packing list, it helps the customs to verify the if the invoice that coming and the shipment coming is matches. So number 5, it is the import permits. So this is the special permission from the government agencies like the FDA for like the rice, like that. So rice is belong to the FDA. So they prove that the goods you're importing are safe and legal to bring into the country. Number 6 is TSAD. Transit single administrative documents, TSAD, boat note, or mission order. So that's the specific documents, and its purpose. These documents are all security and tracking papers. So Their job is to track down the goods and make sure the goods are actually recorded, watched, and don't disappear while they are being moved from the port to your warehouse. Next is section 11, which is the withdrawal of bonded goods. So first is the WSAD number. So this is likely a reference for tracking number assigned to a specific transaction or shipment. So this is it can help to uniquely identify the document or the consignment. B. Name of accredited member, seller, and address. So this identifies the authorized seller and involved in the transaction along with their address. So it can ensure the accountability and proper record keeping. C is the name of accredited member, buyer, and address. This specifies the authorized buyer in the transaction in their address, which is important for delivery, billing, and verification. Next is letter D, the quantity and description of semi-finished or finished goods. So it means like detail the amounts of nature goods being sold or transferred, which is essential for inventory management and customs declarations. Next is E, quantity and description of raw materials used based on FOM. So in this document, it provides information on the raw materials consumed in producing the goods linked from the FOM, like form of manufacture or similar, like to verify the inputs. F is the product code of semi-finished and finished goods based on the FOM. This assigns a specific code to the goods based on the FOM and which helps in classification, tracking, and regulatory compliance. G, materials category in case of garments, and it specifies the category or type materials used particularly of garments, which can be important for tariff, classification, quality control, and compliance with textile regulations. H, like value of goods sold in US dollars. So states the monetary value of the transaction in USD, so which is high and which is crucial for customs valuation, accounting, and financing reporting. I, invoice number covering the sale. This refers to the invoice that documents the sales, providing a reference for payment, audit, and record keeping. J, value of raw materials. So it specifies the cost of the raw materials used, so which helps in calculating the manufacturing costs and profits of margins. K, the last one is the processing cost. The expenses related to processing or manufacturing, like the goods, processing the goods, manufacture the goods. So this is important for cost analysis and pricing. Next is the section 12, the direct exportation of bonded goods. So first is the ED-SAD or ED-SAD, which is Export Declaration Single Administrative Document. So this is the main form to submitted to customs to declare that goods are being exported. Next is the CI or the Certificate of Identification, and these documents prove that the products being exported were made from raw materials that came from a bonded warehouse, and it links the export to those tax-free materials. Next is invoice. So the invoice shows the price, the quantity, and the description of the goods sold. It's used to show the value of the export goods and who is buying it. Next is the packing list. This is the list of everything inside the shipment, like that, and like box numbers, weight, and how things are packed. And it helps customs and the shipping company check what being sent. So the last one is the export commodity clearance license or permit. This one is when it needed. So I'm gonna exclude this one. So it means that if the item being exported is regulated like food, chemicals, or electronics, this documents proves you to have the permission from the right government agencies. Next is the Section 18, the suspension and closure of CBW. So, for my own understanding, customs can stop or close a bonded warehouse if the owner breaks the rules. And this can happen if they lie on their application, don't use a warehouse for a long time, and like do illegal stuff and change the warehouse without the permission and take out goods without the approval or don't renew their license. And customs can stop the warehouse and they can lock it up and check all the goods inside. The owner must give all the papers and pay any taxes owed, like and taxes and fees. So if taxes and fees already paid, they won't be given back. Even after closing, the owner has still to pay any taxes or penalties. The last one, we're gonna tackle the penalties, violations, and compliance from COW 1 2022. And from my own understanding, from COW 1 2022, there are rules for custom bonded warehouses or CBWs. If these rules are broken, there are penalties. Like if a warehouse uses a goods for the wrong purpose or move goods without permission, they can get fined, suspended, or even closed. And for example, taking out goods without the approval can mean paying taxes plus a 50% penalty. And if it happens again, the warehouse can be suspended. And if it happens again in a third time, it can be closed. And next is the late submission. This one is important because if you late submit the important documents, you can also get fined from 5,000 to 20,000 pesos depending on how late. So to avoid penalties, warehouses must follow rules, keep good records, and submit documents on time. And customs always check warehouses regularly to make sure they follow the law. If a warehouse owner thinks the penalty is unfair, they can ask the customs to review it. So, guys, that's the basic penalties and compliance under the COW 1 2022.